Hi, Dave. So we're here at Loyalty and Awards 2024. Why don't you tell our audience who you are and what you do?
Sure, I'm Dave Canty. I'm the head of loyalty for Bilt, a program that rewards paying their rent and neighborhood spend in the United States.
And that's right. It's one of my favorite programs that's out there. And over the past few years, it's really evolved quite a bit, hasn't it?
It has. Like I said, we started with the purpose of trying to reward people for their on-time rent payments. It has subsequently evolved into a much bigger thing than that, which includes kind of now really engaging with your local neighborhood and, earning points for your everyday living. It's one of those programs that we've been very, very careful about kind of continuously unveiling the onion, for want of a better term. There's a lot still to happen, I think, but we have really kind of hit the ground running on the rent side. We've got a lot of support from the real estate side. We've now got the Bilt Alliance is up to 4.5 million apartments across the United States.
Fantastic.
In all of the major metros, if you think about it that way. We're a very young demographic, 24 to 34, with a median of about 29, and it's been great. It's one of those programs where I've always believed that if you do something that's relevant for somebody, they'll engage with it, and so far we're seeing that.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So as I think about the growth of the program, one of the things that sticks out to me is that you're truly a lifestyle brand. Mm-hmm. Like you've moved away from just being about where you stay to being where you play, where you live, engage. Is there a strategy behind that drives your partners, or is this just like what you find out there and trying to collect something that seems like it works?
We don't approach it from the perspective of just let's slap on another element. We're very deliberate. I think when I look at it personally, I would say that Bilt is probably the most relevant and innovative loyalty program of a generation, because it's certainly in an adult's life, it's relevant from your very first rent payment, your very first fitness class, dining experience, and we're even kind of getting into everything else that's happening in your neighborhood. Yeah. So we've expanded the overall program to ensure that we're rewarding everyday living, essentially. And I think that's the most important thing, is to ensure that everything that we bring to the fore means something to you. And then, of course, you've got to really be able to deliver extraordinary kind of redemption opportunities. And I've been a huge advocate of every loyalty program that it needs to allow people to enjoy the benefits of it early. So we're all about that. And I think, we're seeing through the engagement of our existing members and the advocacy that they bring by referring new. It's just, as far as I'm concerned, it's a tremendous program.
Well, but I am biased.
And I absolutely love the concept from the beginning when I first heard about it. Can you talk to our audience just a little bit about the types of partners that are there? So if they've not heard of Bilt, talk a little bit about the collection that you've assembled.
Yeah, so it started obviously with the real estate partners, which is a hugely important part. That's part of the foundational partnership elements. So we went out and we spoke to all of the major real estate organizations across the United States. Yeah. And you're talking about the Avalon Bays, you're talking about GID, you're talking about Blackstone, you're talking about the related group and so forth. Painting a vision for them on creating a loyalty program that allows them to incent people to kind of sign a new lease or renew a lease was foundational. So when we first kind of set those partnerships up and created the Bilt Alliance, that allowed us then to focus on the broader ecosystem. I mentioned redemption early on. Any program that ever comes out has to have pretty good redemption options. Now we kind of our first intent was that we want a currency that's going to allow you to pay your rent if you wish, or put a down payment on a home. So we had an overarching vision of creating a pathway to home ownership. And in doing so, then we also wanted to look at the lifestyle elements. And of course, travel is something that really kind of resonates with everybody, especially a younger generation. But whether it's through kind of fortunate circumstance or misfortune, COVID happened and travel became inaccessible for everybody. And we knew that there was going to be a yearning to get out there and see the world once COVID kind of passed. So before we launched the program, we went out and we started talking to who are now our travel partners. We went out and we basically said, look, we're creating a program that's going to attract a very young audience to the United States. They're going to be eager to travel. There's an opportunity for you to kind of get your brand in front of them.
Yeah.
And we'd love to see if there's a way to work together. So we've done that, and we've built out an amazing portfolio of redemption partners, certainly on the travel side.
Yeah.
We built out a portfolio of partners on the fitness side, so kind of getting really into the lifestyle side. Then, on top of that, we kind of brought it all together by making it easily accessible. So we've seen amazing engagement, when you have the partner slate that we have and the engagement that we have, I don't have to say this, but even the Points Guy and Bankrate have rated the Bilt currency the most valuable currency now in the world, based on the partners that we have. And you just have to look at who those are, and you'll understand why. But there's nothing cooler than being able to travel the world by paying your rent.
Yes, right, absolutely. So I've got two more questions for you. One is, if we could peek under the tent a little bit, anything around the corner that we should be looking forward to?
Yeah, I mean, we're going to continue to build out the neighborhood element of Bilt Rewards. I don't know if you saw, but we've kind of tiptoed our way into the health space now with our partnership with Walgreens. Is now a Bilt neighborhood pharmacy. And in doing so, we're unlocking a lot of dollars that are kind of unused, certainly pre-tax dollars for our audience to be able to use towards their healthcare. I continuously get asked about mortgages. Are we ever going to go there? And the answer is yes, we are. That's kind of probably impending. And I think it's important to point out that Bilt was the first currency ever approved by the government to be used towards down payment on a home. So we've kind of gone through some of the initial hurdles, and we've got ourselves prepared. But we've got to make sure that we don't lose sight of our core business as well. So while we continue to reveal new elements, we're going to stay true to what our initial kind of purpose was.
Love it.
But yeah, so, and then, there's possibly college stuff and so forth. So
I love this. It's such a concept that everybody should be able to tap into. So I really appreciate you sharing this. One more question for you.
Sure.
So we're here in Thailand, right? Halfway across the world. It's hot, it's muggy, we're in this jungle, you hear the birds, but it's beautiful.
It's gorgeous.
Why did you choose to come to this conference?
It's a great question. So I've been attending the Loyalty and Awards conference for many years in multiple different roles. And I've always been impressed by the attendee list. So you usually have the decision makers of loyalty kind of turn up at this. And I think we've created a community over time of mutual respect. We've learned from each other. And, I'm learning from new attendees as well all the time. I think, I attended the one in Rio last year, and the balance of time between allowing people to network and kind of build relationships was so well done, in addition to the content. I think that if that's the holy grail, really, is making sure that you feel like you're continuously building relationships and nurturing ones that you already have. And I think Loyalty and Awards helps that.
Right.
And Thailand is a very attractive, destination.
Yeah.
It's a long way to come, I'll be honest with you. I don't think I realized how far. I'm delighted to be here.
I'm glad you're here. Hey, thanks for your time, Dave. Always a pleasure. Appreciate it.
Thanks, David. Cheers.